All right, just go live because I'm sick of hearing all these babies complain on Twitter, and we just need to talk about it.
So obviously we're talking about Fable today. Lots of buzz. Naturally because it's a new set, plenty to talk about, but also because of really what this set is. If you haven't heard, there are only 33 new cards being printed, and the rest are reprints. And that kind of leaves us all wondering, like, is this set for me? Do I buy this set versus, do I just pick up singles? What should I play? Is the meta, gonna be actually fun? Is it all just gonna be aggro, right? Like, these are all the things that are kind of just like going around on Twitter right now. And I think it's a valid like couple of questions for a lot of collectors. I don't even know, where do you want to jump in with this?
Sure, let's talk about how people are actually going to buy it.
Okay.
Okay. So, uh, what's your plan?
So, okay, for me, I think, and we all have our own financial situation, so keep that in mind. I'm thinking I own 90% of these cards, right? I only need 33 new cards. Why am I not just picking up singles for those 33 new cards? Because also keep in mind, I don't need 4 copies of every single one of those cards, right? Like, not every single one is going to be playable, or at least not right now. I like to try to master set everything, but not when prices are super high. So why not just buy 4 copies of a card on release weekend when I'm going to SSG, and then skip kind of the boxes and stuff, and just because otherwise I'm opening boxes to get iconic cards and new rares and stuff like that. So what do you think?
Well, have you posted on Twitter?
No.
Amazing, you're in the minority. Uh, okay, let's go over every set. All right, let's go over every single set. Set one, I bought singles. Why? I couldn't find product.
Yep.
Okay. Set two, I bought singles because I was going to a Star City Games tournament.
Okay.
Okay. Set three, I bought multiple cases because there wasn't a big tournament that was right after it, and I went to Disney Springs and I bought stuff at Coliseum of Comics. Shout out Coliseum of Comics kissing me. Uh, every set that there was a DLC, like that weekend or the weekend after, I bought 4 of every card on release. All right. Basically every set that there wasn't, it was like, looked at my finances like, okay, do I want to spend this money on knowing that I'll get 4 of every card when I don't necessarily need it right now? Or do I kind of want to, scratch that itch of opening some boosties, right? Not once have I posted on Twitter like, I'm only buying singles because this set XYZ. It doesn't matter. There's thousands of people who only buy singles. There's thousands of people who only open product. Like, it's like when people don't want to subscribe to a YouTube channel anymore and they go and they let you know, I unsubscribed. Okay. If you want to buy singles, buy singles. Like,
Sure.
that's great. Whatever. Because guess what? Those singles were opened somewhere,
Right.
right?
By people who
And
bought
most of,
product.
yeah, and most of the people that are selling singles this early on are either stores who, if they don't sell them, next set release, they're probably not opening as much product, right? If they don't make any money, or people that are chasing these new epic and iconic cards, and they also need to sell them, and if they don't sell them, they're not opening as much product. So it doesn't stifle any sales whatsoever. There's no need to like grandstand about it. All
Mm.
right, as much as I'm grandstanding right here.
So your gripe, if I'm understanding you correctly, is less that people are saying like, oh, I'm skipping Fabled because there's only 33 new cards, I'm just buying singles. It's not that actually that you're mad about. It's more like when people are acting like, oh, this set's never gonna sell well because nobody's gonna buy it because everybody's gonna buy singles. Am I understanding correctly? It's like, you can buy singles
Yeah,
if you want, but don't act like the game is not going to sell well, because it's still going to sell incredibly well, like you said, because the people who sell singles have to open product to do it.
yeah, it's like I'm complaining about the people that are trying to use this as some sort of strike against the company.
Yeah.
Like, like I'm not going into work today. I'm buying singles. You're not getting my money.
Yeah. It's
Like,
all part of
where
the
did the cards come from?
right. It's all part of the part of the ecosystem. I feel you.
Yeah.
I think yeah, for me it's not like I'm being high and mighty about it. It's just like what makes sense for me financially right now. It would be nice to like, chase the iconic and the epic rarities and stuff like that, but I just think for me, I'm not, my luck is not that great. I've only pulled a couple, like maybe like one enchanted or two, naturally through like buying a case or whatever. So I think for me, I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna get the like couple singles I need at SSG weekend and then kind of wait for prices to drop, because Lorcana has, I think, been cheaper than it's ever been recently.
Yeah,
That being
which is good.
right.
Accessibility is good.
100%, and I agree. So well, with that being said, right, so that's like, okay, do we buy Fable, do we not? Really, it's up to you, and there's fun in chasing it and there's fun in buying singles, right? Or you save money in buying singles, right? Something for everybody. I don't know, like for the people that think this set is like a skip altogether, I think there's a lot of collectors or competitive players or whatever you want to call it. Well, I guess, I don't know, people like us that like play competitively are going to play no matter what, because new meta, doesn't matter if it's like whatever. But people that are feeling like slighted, I guess, by Fabled and feeling like let down, and maybe even mad at Ravensburger, what do you have to say about that?
I would say that this probably just wasn't the product for them, which is unfortunate because it is a set release,
Right,
right?
right.
It's not like some kind of product that is just supposed to help like boost up a little bit. It is a full-fledged set release, right? But a lot of trading card games have these set releases, which are in some cases, in some of the trading card games, 100% reprints,
Oh,
right?
really? Okay.
Yes. They even sometimes make the cards look uglier on purpose, so that it holds the value of the original cards.
Mm.
Like that's a real thing that has occurred in other card games, right? So like if this isn't the set for you, like for opening booster packs that you normally would, perfectly fine. Just buy the cards that you want to buy, right? But I think that having a product like this, especially if they say like, listen, we're just be prepared, pun intended, just be prepared. We are gonna do this once a year or once every 2 years, where it's like mostly cards that are already in existence, because this is a good launching point for new players.
100%.
And without new players, this game will fail. Everything will fail without new players, right?
Yeah.
So that brings us into rotation.
Yeah.
Rotation is a reboot. Okay. I can imagine that like when they reboot things like Marvel comics and DC comics and stuff like that, it could be a nightmare for people that are like really invested into it. They spent years invested into doing things one way.
Right.
But like Marvel and DC understand, hey, it's pretty daunting when you walk into your local comic store and you say, "Hey, what's the newest Batman comic?" And they go, "Oh, it's issue 48."
Right.
Like, "Oh, okay. Do you have 1 through 47?"
Right. How am I
You
ever
know.
gonna start?
You're right. So, like, what's a reboot essentially is you take familiar things and you just present them in a new way. And I think that's what Fabled is doing, right? They're taking cards like, Sergeant Tibbs or whatever, and they are presenting them to new people. I actually, yeah, I have another gripe with Twitter. Who would
Okay.
have knew? The amount of people who are saying things like, wow, Steel Song isn't a deck anymore. What are they doing? They took this away from me. Or, oh, Ruby, Amethyst, Bounce. They didn't reprint any of it. That doesn't exist anymore. What kind of rotation is this? That's the point, right? Like, we will still have, I'm sure we'll still have an Amber Steel deck. I'm sure we'll still have a Ruby Amethyst deck. It's not supposed to be the same thing that we've had for the past 2 years,
Yeah.
right?
Well, so I want to talk about that. Both of the things that you kind of touched on. So I do think you're absolutely right. Fabled is for new players. What a great way to be like, oh man, I had been wanting to get into Lorcana, but at this point there's too many sets. I'm not going to do it. To now, oh, this is perfect. I can jump right in. So I totally see that. And I think everybody gets it, even if they don't really like it, because, you know, it's kind of like, well, what about the rest of us that have been here for the first 9 sets now? And you know, it feels like we don't get any shiny new toys to play with. So I can understand, you know, the feeling of discomfort and being a little like, man, you know, okay, well, I guess like this is a skip for me. I just need to buy singles, or, you know, my favorite deck didn't get reprinted. I get all of that. But I do think ultimately it's necessary for the game to grow, but I don't think people have to be like super happy about it. Like, I think as long as they're, and that's the problem, is like when people aren't happy about things, they, you know, are really annoying on the internet. Yeah, you can just have the inside thought. But anyways, so barring those people that are having those like very loud negative thoughts, other than just like the rest of us that are like, you know, I'm a little worried about Fable, but whatever. So that's one thing I will say, is like, I still do understand why some people are a little like, man, you know, I get it, and this is important for the new players to come in. I'm one of these people. I'm like, this is awesome, because I've already met people playing other games where they've been like, oh man, I'm super excited to get into Lorcana. I've already started like making a list. As soon as set 9 comes out, like I'm in. I'm waiting for set 9 to come out to start buying cards. So like, that's already like, it's already doing its thing. You know, there are already players from other games that had been thinking about, you know, trying Lorcana that are now going to, which is great. However, the second thing that you said about sort of like a reboot and stuff like that, and like your favorite decks getting rotated out, I think that also naturally is just a little like uncomfortable for some people, because they've had a certain play style, and I think some people don't really want to, like, everybody always likes what they know, you know, even if it is like Amber Steel wheel for, you know, the 9th set in a row. There's plenty of people that would have been super happy with that.
Are you talking about me?
There's plenty of people that have been really, really happy with that. And then on the other hand, is there's also a bunch of players that are like, well, this is boring. It's the same thing every time. And so you can't please everybody. And I think that's what's difficult about it. Obviously, I think everybody should try their best. You know, the people who want to play this game, obviously the people who are going to go play another game, but like the people that want to be here, that are just a little like, this is kind of an awkward phase right now. I think it's natural that Fabled feels like that, and I think that all we can really do is try our best to embrace it, and hopefully, you know, it ends up paying back in full, and you know, maybe the meta is really interesting, and those 33 new cards, or the cards that get rotated out, like, even though we're only playing with 33 new cards, they actually still, everything feels brand new, because now you're playing with cards from sets 1 through 4 that you never thought of, or really even cards from 5 through 8 as well that you never even would have touched, because with
or would have never had
gone,
would have never had
enabled
breathing room.
Yeah, but it is a weird thing. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I should also mention the people that I'm saying, like, stop complaining that you can't play your deck anymore. That's not to everyone. It's to the people that were happy there was a rotation. Like, there were definitely people who were like, I'm so glad there's a rotation, it's going to shake things up. And then, like, their part of the game got shooken up. And then they were like, oh, you know what I mean? That was specifically annoying. If you've, like, I feel for you if, like, you have budgetary restrictions, you've had, like, the same deck forever. It's the, you know, maybe you don't have a lot of time to play test with people, and this was, like, the one thing keeping you competitive in your, like, set champ scene and stuff like that. I definitely feel for that person.
Right, 100%.
Right? So that's not who I'm specifically, like, shaming right here.
Yeah, I get you. It's true, because I think something that I've learned is, like, people always say they want innovation, until you actually give it to them, and then they're upset about it. So everybody's like, oh, the meta's stale, we want something new, print new cards. And then they shake things up where, like, again, Amber Steel Wheel, let's say, isn't a thing anymore, and then people are like, whoa, you innovated a little too hard. I just wanted new cards for the things that I enjoy. I didn't want everything to be brand new. So it's kind of like a rock and a hard place for Ravensburger. I do think ultimately Fabled is a good thing. There's going to be plenty of new players coming into the game, which we should all be happy about, like you said. But I'm not going to pretend that it's like not, you know, a little awkward right now, right? Fabled's a little bit of an awkward release, but I think give it some time. I think everybody will get used to it, and I do think already the conversations are happening where people are like, oh man, aggro's the best deck in the format, and it's over. We're cooked, and it's just this natural cycle that happens every 3 months every time we get a new set.
Yeah, a couple of things. One, I didn't ask you to bring up aggro. I had it on my list here that I didn't tell you. So everyone thinks it's just gonna be all aggro everywhere,
Aggro
right?
soup.
Right, and people wanted things to be different, right? So has that ever been the format? Has there ever been a format where it was just aggro was the S tier deck?
No, I don't think so.
Right, so things are different. So shut up. Right, like no joke. Are you afraid? Are you afraid that you're just gonna get run over by daisies and Nihilus?
I mean, yeah.
Me too. I'm horrified.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'm scared.
I'm very scared. Legitimately, like that. I'm worried that I might not have any fun for the next 3 months, or maybe I'll play that deck and my opponents won't have any fun for the next 3 months.
Me too.
But that is still a different experience than we've ever had.
Yeah.
And I think that's the point that there should be a different experience than we've ever had. The people that have been really trying to make aggro work for the last 2 years, it's their time to have fun,
happy.
right?
They're so happy. Yeah.
Like, yeah, they haven't been having too much fun getting yelled at for the past 2 years, people telling them they have no skill, and we've had to make videos defending them.
Right.
Like,
well,
just because.
Sorry. Just question about skill expression. Actually, a lot of people are. So the reason why people are up in arms about that is because they think that aggro is not going to be like an all aggro meta is not going to be a proper skill expression. Which obviously we have a video about how aggro does in fact take skill. So I'll put that link up in the corner in the description. But beyond that, like, outside of aggro in general, of everything takes skill. It's a card game. That's what we're doing here. Do you actually think it's going to be a skillless meta? Because I think actually it's a higher skill expression now.
Yeah, I think that the better players in the game are going to learn to win going second.
Yes.
And if they can't learn to win going second, if they don't build their decks in such a way that they can win going second, people are just going to complain on Twitter that die roll is the only thing that matters. But until we see a day where it's like 80% of the time when you're on the play you win, I don't know. I still think that the vast majority of the time when you register your deck, you choose if you're going to win going second more often than not.
Yeah.
There's too many people that build Magic Christmas Land 60 card decks that just crush their opponents on the play. And then when they lose the die roll, they're like, it's all luck.
Okay, so don't forget to build decks for on the draw as well. Sorry, were you going somewhere else with that as well? I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's all good. I can't remember now, and we just move on.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's okay. So we had some options, right? The company had some options. I'm gonna put on my company pants.
Okay.
My company tie. All right. I don't work for the company, obviously. Even though some people like to send me hate mail and say that I changed the game somehow. So here were their options, in my opinion. They could have done what they did and made this set and had whatever feedback they had, right? Where, you buy booster boxes, you can open packs, same as normal. The other option was something like an anniversary collection. Some other games have had these where basically they just sell you 4 of every card straight out of the box. Okay. And then you don't have to worry about, well, I don't want to open cards that only have X new cards. I'm just going to get all the cards, right? The other option is just print the new cards and either sell them in a D23 style set or just like give them away somehow. Like if you buy X amount of booster packs from a store, you also get this bundle of new cards. Okay. And then I think the fourth option would be only print the best cards ever made in the history of the game. And then you would think it wouldn't be true, but you would think everyone would be super happy. Okay, that wouldn't be the case, but everyone would be super happy. So Do you think there's anything I missed before we weigh the pros and cons of each of these?
No, I think you got it.
Awesome. All right, let's start with the anniversary collection because I have that written first, even though I jumped around on my page. Anniversary collection would be 4 of every single card. So there's 204 cards in a set, right? So you need 816 cards to make a full playset. When Ravensburger typically sells you 816 cards, that's 2.83 booster boxes, and that's $408 MSRP. Okay. Ravensburger, as a company, is banking quarterly on selling X amount of booster boxes. So let's just say that's 3 per person, right? For them to be a functional company. Well, this anniversary collection would have to cost $408. All right.
Mm.
So, what do you think if you could buy 4 of every card for $408?
4 of every card for $408. I don't think
Yeah, from Fable.
I don't think I would do it.
Oh, I would totally do it. I would love it. I'd be so happy. I would be thrilled. Uh, Most of the time when I buy 4x of a set on release weekend, it's about $1,000.
That's insane.
I mean, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like someone had to go take the time
Yeah.
to open all those cards, front the money for all those cards. We could say it takes 3 boxes to get 816 cards. That's not 4 of every legendary. That's not 4 of every super rare, right?
Right.
So, I think that the people that just want to play the game would absolutely love that. But then we got to think about the people that collect foils. We got to think about the people that want enchanteds
Mm-hmm.
and now epics and iconics, right?
Well, because it's like I guess I see what you're saying, because it's like, well, is it what? Well, it's less than $1 per card. Okay, it's good. No, I'm with you now. I'm just like, how much am I paying for 4 of like a common that I already have 4 of at home? But like,
It's so good. If you could spend $408
I
once
get
every
everything.
3 months, think about spreading that purchase weekly.
Yeah.
It's so cheap,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, because the alternative is you spend 400 and you don't get every card anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So what I've seen from anniversary collections is that as soon as they come out, they're worth like significantly more than it should be because people are looking at the old value of the cards. And then it at some point, maybe 2 days to a week in, it hits them that there's now a million of this card and the cards end up being absolutely worthless. And then it's like, ugh, I don't want to pay $408 because
Yeah,
now I can
that's more
buy
like what
the
I was
old
thinking.
version. Right. So that has those are the pros and cons. Pro, $408 sounds pretty good. Every 3 months, that's a good functioning game. Some people pay more than that for actual board games, right? Cons, you're never going to get epic, iconic, enchanteds, even basic foils, stuff like that. Let's see. Then what if they did just the new cards? Okay. If they did just the new cards and you owned 4 of everything and it was attached to some kind of promotion, the company still needs to make money, like we said. So they might say, hey, for every booster box you buy, you get 1 of each new card. Well, then you're buying booster boxes of old sets that you already own all the cards of. Right. So that is basically the same as just buying booster boxes of this set. Except, again, you can get epics and iconics now. And I think showing that in China they actually went with this plan of getting promotional packs and stuff like that really is what leads us to believe this set is to get new players in, because the cards that are in this set that are being reprinted are still legal in China for the next year. So there's no need to sell them the same cards double, right?
Right.
So that's the only reason that we're saying, hey, this is for newer players. But I keep saying it, but they did include a few things for current players. Those things being the epic rarity and the iconic rarity.
Right.
Right. Do you have any feelings on these?
I think it's nice. I think it was necessary for them to do that, especially because like we said, it's kind of like a repackaged, thing that we already have. I think if it was just Enchanteds, it wouldn't be enough, and so I really do think they had
Yeah,
to sweeten the pot. Not necessarily on drop rates, but just in general of like giving us more to chase than just Enchanted. So I think this is a big win, and I think it was really really smart that they did that, and it makes it feel
I
worth it.
agree. I agree. I do think cards like Steamboat Willie or Steamboat Mickey being an epic is rough. It's gonna be like opening the wall. Like you're just gonna feel bad. And I understand that they do want to make some of these just for people that love Disney.
Right.
Like that's still a huge portion of their fan base. So I am willing to accept that that card was just not made for me, and I'm not gonna go on Twitter and complain about it. The iconic rarities, I love. I do have a gripe with the art. All right,
Oh,
and
okay.
a couple of people brought this up, and I think this is very valid.
Yeah.
I am so let down that the entire set does not look like this.
Mm.
Like, do you remember the marketing material of us just seeing these iconic arts?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
how did you feel when you first saw that art and it was linked to something called Fabled?
Yeah. I remember seeing everybody talking about like all the different theories of, oh, this is gonna be like an old timey set, and like it's gonna be about like the stories and the this that we've learned thus far, and like yeah, people were running with it. So I'm with you. It was there was a lot of hype generated around that.
Yeah, I wish that they would have at that point said like only a few of the cards are going to look like this. Like that would have sparked even more theories, but like when I think the word fabled, I'm thinking like stories. When I see that old art, I'm mid 30s, all right, late 30s, whatever. And I'm thinking about, my mom reading me Mother Goose when I was a kid, and I'm
Right.
just getting all the nostalgia. And then it's just the packaging and it's just the it's just the 2 cards, so that
Well,
was a little rough.
even like considering what they've shown us thus far, if you look at a set like Ursula's Return or Reign of Jafar, where they're like heavily themed, you can see a lot of elements of like Ursula and Jafar in the card art of these cards. So it was reasonable to assume that like, and look at what they do with the enchanted packages, right? Like where the enchanteds have kind of changed after the first few sets, depending on like what the theming is, right? So we had that set of like all like sort of like gold papery enchanteds. It's like, why wouldn't we believe that like now all the card art are going to look really like maybe some special sort of old time effect, and all of them are going to have this running theme, and they're not that.
Yeah. Hopefully, the iconic rare in my opinion, hopefully
Sure.
the iconic rarity is only used sparingly, and I hope they all look like this.
Yeah.
That will make it make sense for me. Let's see. The next option was well, just do what they did, right? And what are the pros of what they did? The pros are new people can jump into the game pretty easily.
Yep.
And what are the cons? The old people are being grumpy.
Yep.
So we've already went over that a bit.
You nailed it.
Uh, yeah. Um, and then the last option was only reprint the very best cards in the game and not reprint things that no one has ever played and no one will ever play again. I think that at first people would have been like, this is incredible. Like I'm opening, nothing but gas, stuff like that. I think that would have then led to the same exact format basically, and it would have led to the same problem with the anniversary collection. It's like you're opening these cards that are all worth money, but you're now opening so much of it that none of it is worth money. I think it would be exactly like when Kuzco from set 1, Temperamental Emperor,
Hmm.
was a $25 rare, and then they released the second wave of product and it was a 25-cent rare. And I think that the company isn't worried about that, but I think that the player base would have then again still been up in arms.
Yeah,
So
100%. So do you think after looking at all the pros and cons, safe to say they took the best option?
Yeah, I think that this was great. I also think it was perfectly fine that there's only 33 new cards, and people are not going to be happy that I said that, but I'm standing by it. Out out of the 33 new cards, I think only Little John, like Sir Reginald, is like pretty bad, right? I They could see into the future, not us. Okay,
Right, right, right,
We don't have Bruno powers. The design team does. So
right.
like maybe it's something that is going to be needed within the next year.
It's
At the
coming.
moment, yeah, at the moment, not really necessary.
Yeah.
But when you get a brand new set that's 204 cards, we've said it before. People complain that not every card is playable. It's not every card is going to be playable.
Right.
So like we probably hit about the number of cards that people would have been really excited for anyway,
Right.
if I'm being honest. And then Tinkerbell, Giant Fairies of the world clean up the rest of our brains where it's like, oh, I'm also really happy I can still play this.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, with the 33 new cards thing, we have to recognize that like if they didn't give us only 33 new cards, think of even like more, all of the hundreds of cards that wouldn't have come back. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
they really had to do that in order to give us some of these cards that we needed. Sure, technically they could have just reprinted the card under a different name and changed the text a little bit, but
I was gonna say,
the way
yeah,
they did it.
they would. We wouldn't have Sergeant Tibbs. We'd have a one cost 2/2 Bambi that quests for one.
Yep.
It's like it doesn't just because it's not a new card doesn't mean that we would have played with it
Yeah,
anyway.
we see that all the time. So
I have no insight to this. I honestly think they went around the office and was like, "What's your favorite card that no one played?" Like,
oh wow.
I really, really think like I don't know if you remember, like everyone played Sergeant Tibbs set 1, even though it was statistically wrong to play him over Archimedes.
Right.
Because then you revealed that you were Ruby Amethyst turn 1 because you almost never inked Ruby because most of your powerful Ruby cards were uninkable. So like you should have always just played Archimedes if you were playing a 2/2 because you're gonna ink Amethyst, play Amethyst. Your opponent doesn't know what you're playing, and you would say, "Why is Sergeant Tibbs in your deck?" They would always say, "Sergeant Tibbs is Bay." How often did you hear that? Do you remember that?
I wasn't in the crowd of people that I wasn't friends with the folks that Sergeant Tibbs was their bay, so I think I missed that. But
no, John was obsessed with Sergeant Tibbs.
oh
John donated to someone's Twitch because they were like, if you donate, I'll put your name on a card forever, and if I ever use it on Pixelborn, your name will be there. He chose Sergeant Tibbs.
wow.
All right.
Wow.
You were there. You just don't remember.
I just don't remember. Okay, so that's some of the stuff on Fabled. Is there anything else that we want to talk about right now?
I don't think so. I think that about covers everything.
Yeah.
I know. And it's a hard thing between like I would love to talk for 4 hours and no one will watch us for 4 hours. So
yeah, so
that's a rough one. You should put a note right at the beginning. We sound best at 1.5 speed.
I'll let him know.
Yeah, because that's how I listen to it, and I'm like, I've never sounded smarter.
Yeah, a little hack for the watch to the end crew.
Yeah.
Put us on 1.25 speed. All right. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it for now. Really big, heavy for now because there's plenty to talk about. We're gonna do some testing. Obviously, SSG is coming up.
We don't even have our hands on the cards yet.
Yeah. So who knows what's gonna happen. There will be lots to say about aggro. There will be lots to say about card price with only 33 of them being new. People skipping singles. I know that Dumbo, that the new legendary Dumbo is. I was like looking at the pre-orders for it, $60. That's crazy. Can't wait to see that drop. So there's plenty of crazy stuff to talk about. And if you want to hear from us. Yeah, well, I guess you're right. I don't know. So, who's to say? Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for 500 subscribers. We did it. Some more information on some of that stuff coming soon. But now it's time for the next big goal, guys. 1,000. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. You're in good company. All right, that's it from us. We will be back very soon with another one, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.